Welcome to video from synthesizers.com. In this video I'm going to look at my new collection of sounds for the Korg Modwave, Modwave Native, Modwave Rack, both Modwave and Modwave version 2. This is my ARP collection, inspired by various ARP synths from the 70s. So thinking like ARP Odyssey, ARP 2600, and I've stretched it a little bit and got a couple of Solina type string sounds in there because while the Solina wasn't made by ARP, it was sold in the US with a ARP badge on it and incorporated some of their synths as well. So kind of stretched it a little bit, but I thought they were worth including. So this is, you've got 46 performances, and we've got some patches as well, some programs as well for some dual layer stuff as well. So all inspired by, for some of the sounds what I did, I've been listening to the Pro Soloist presets and trying to recreate some of those as used by Tony Banks Genesis. I've also used the ARP Odyssey plugin from Korg, and I've recreated some of their sounds from there, and I've just picked out other ones which I like and kind of inspired by it. And so you can see the Modwave is actually pretty good at being a versatile synth that you can do this kind of stuff. So I'll go through some of them now. So the one you heard at the beginning there is the Solina one. I've actually got Behringer's Solina, and so I used by ear to try and get some of those. But the Modwave does have the String Ensemble samples in there, so which is what I've used. And this one is a dual layer one, so in the lower end you get that real low bass by the ensemble bass that I've put in there. That one was recreated using pulse width to try and get that one, so it gives you that nice effect, and you can take those layers out and do whatever you want with those. We've got some others. These are the Pro Soloist. The PS ones are based on the Pro Solo, or inspired by the Pro Soloist. So that's the tuba. This one is called Telstar. Nice resonant one. And Genesis and Tony Banks used Pro Soloist on things like Cinema Show. So that's kind of what I had in mind when I did these. Because Pro Soloist had aftertouch, so I've got it set to use the vibrato with the mod wheel, but if you've got an aftertouch keyboard, just redo that app and change those, and you can do that yourself. This one's called Pulsar. Nice thin sound. Clarinet, so that's hollow square wave. We've got a violin. And trumpet. Kind of thing Tony Banks would have used on that. Some of these I've left fairly dry, like a bit of reverb on there. They're not spectacular sounds when you hear them completely dry on the original instrument, but as soon as you get into a great performer like Tony Banks and get some effects on there, they sound great. Muted trumpet. That French horn. Probably a bit more resonance than the Pro Soloist, because the Pro Soloist actually allowed you to do that through aftertouch. Cello. Then I've got some more Solina type sounds. This is a phase one. Again with the lock bass on the lower side of that, and then here we've got one with some chords. So that one is using the motion sequencer step pulse to trigger the envelopes. So it's re-triggering the. So here I can show you. It's re-triggering the filter envelope and the amp envelope. And this layout. I did previously. I've done a video on the motion sequencer, so you can see how I would do that kind of effect, but it's pretty straightforward. It's just triggering on the step pulse. So here's one using another arpeggiator. This one you can see the sawtooth wave is drifting, and that's using a free running LFO. So one of the features of Modwave 2 is that you can have the LFOs just keep running and don't get re-triggered by an arpeggiator, and that's exactly what it's doing. So this one is a 2600, ARP 2600, kind of, it's a 3 oscillator synth, mono synth, but the Modwave has got an ensemble wave from the 2600 sampled in it, and that's what I've used. So it's just using oscillator 2 on here. I've left it in poly mode, obviously, to get that nice chords on there. This is based off one of the presets from the plugin, actually, called Curried. And I'm not sure if this one is reference to Billy Currie from Ultravox, who used an Odyssey. So this one is called Cinema. I won't play all of it because I can't, but it's a reference there to the Cinema Show sound that Tony Banks used. He used a Pro Soloist, but that is a sound that I recreated ages ago on the Odyssey, and a nice lead sound, so that's included on there. We've got some more phase strings and some phase sawtooth sounds. So this one is using a bit of distortion. So we're using some distortion, and a lot of these, by the way, I'm using the MS-20 filter because I think it gives me a closer sound than the Poly 6. It's a slightly brighter filter than the Poly 6. Space Bass, that's from the Pro Soloist, and here's just a normal bass sample of Pro Soloist. This one's called Harpsichord. There's a Pro Soloist lead sound called Harpsichord, obviously mono, but I put this into poly. Almost guitar-like, synth guitar-like, so yeah, I'm including that one there. Here's a Pro Soloist preset. Cosmic Wow, I like the names of some of these. And this one is just one used on the Odyssey. There's a bit of ring mod on there and some phasing. Another string based on the sample of the 2600. And this is another sample one, 2600 resonant string sample with some resonance on it. And here's just the resonant string sample. Using the filter there and some resonance on that detuned 2600 sample. So that is called Wind Flute, based on an Odyssey sample. This is a pad sound based on one that I got from the plugin. Here is a bit of fifth on there, used on Abacab by Tony Banks. Not exactly that sound, but he used that kind of fifth sound on Abacab using the Quadra, the ARP Quadra, and that's what I've used, a bit of fifth separation, and you can use the mod controls to detune it slightly. Now here's one using the motion sequencer to create that sort of late 70s, early 80s bass line. Maybe a bit Donna Summer, something like that. And here we've got another one using the sequencer and the free running LFOs to give you that sort of the filters opening up, and it just will run forever like that, but rather than re-triggering as you do the key presses. We've got a ring modulation lead. Dance lead, I got this one from the VST. Steel guitar from the Odyssey, and this is one of my favourites. This is one with a nice bit of delay on it. A bit Pink Floydy. Telstar, based on the Pro Soloist, but this is actually from an Odyssey recreation of the Pro Soloist. So this is a Modwave recreating the Odyssey, recreating the Pro Soloist. And again, similar thing. This is called Fuzz Guitar, and it uses a technique to morph from a pulse wave into the square wave. So like this. And I'm not actually changing the wave shape. I'm actually using a technique that you could use on the Odyssey of using the the volume between the two oscillators to go from the pulse to the square, rather than doing it in the way you could do it with the Modwave, which is use the wave shaping. The idea is, at the time, that was the square wave sound is to recreate the sort of the hollow sound that you get as feedback. I actually just upped it then to the if you up that first oscillator an octave, you'll hear that. Here's another Genesee Type 1. This is In the Cage. Portamento on there, and the technique I've used on quite a few of these patches so far. I noticed on the when I was using the Odyssey that the two waveforms, the two oscillators, could be almost in tune at C, but then when you went up an octave, they were a bit more out of tune, and when you went an octave further, they were even more out of tune. So you get that beating sound higher up and lower down, but around the middle you don't get it so much. So what I did with that one is use a bit of key tracking on the pitch of oscillator 2. So the further you go, the more out of tune it gets with the with oscillator 1. Bit of overdrive bass. And here's a pulse lead. And pulse width bass. And a nice simple arpeggiator. And we've got a square lead. So there we go, there's the 46 performances. Some of these are dual layered, like the Solina one, and those layers are included as well as programs. So again, this shows the versatility of the Modwave. I hope you find the sounds useful and my thoughts behind how I did them. If you've got any suggestions, leave them in the comments. Please like and subscribe and all that. And I'll see you on the next one. Oh, these are all downloadable from Oh, I should say as well, these are all downloadable from the digital lifestyle.com on our music tech downloads page. So thanks for watching.